जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुनातीरावनचारी। यमुनातीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुनातीरावनचारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा। जय प्रभुपदा। जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव। जय जय गुरुदेव। नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। नित्य गौर हरि बोल। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदातिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सगणा रचिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पदान् सह ललिता सहगण ललिता विशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चना गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नास्तिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजाङ्घ्रे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गुरतिशे नमः नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति त्यक्त्वा रमापते श्री परमानंद माधव श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य ओम पवित्र पवित्र वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यस्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष सा भाग्य अभ्यन्तरं श्री विष्णु श्री Hare Krishna. Thank you all for giving me yet another opportunity to continue. So what we had left yesterday, story of Prajamila. Thank you everyone for kindly joining on a Sunday morning. So I know it's very difficult. So Sundays are generally the one of the laziest things, but we have chosen, we have given our time for Sri Krishna. So this is what is called bhakti. Thank you all for giving me this so much association. So if I speak something anything wrong, please forgive me because of my ego. Otherwise, it is all the mercy of this the Guru Parampara and especially His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So in the fifth canto, so earlier in the fifth canto, what we have seen that the land and hellish planets. So we have seen the entire creation, the 14 planetary systems, and then we have seen the hellish conditions. Sixth canto, especially the first three chapters, gives us the way how to escape the hell. So how can we escape the hellish planets? Is described in these first three chapters. So these three chapters are very much important so that we don't go to the lowest species of animal life. So we have stopped at text number 15 yesterday on this in the second chapter of Ajamila's story. So where we have a small recap of what we have seen so far. So we have, based on the Vidura's question inquiry, so Maitreya was explaining about Ajamila's story, where Ajamila, who was a pure Brahmana earlier, by the association of a prostitute, he commits so many sinful activities. He drives away his chaste wife, his mother and father, his parents, and he's committed so many sinful activities like equity, theft, killing, and whatnot. So he has fallen to the lowest of the possible as Naradama. But due to due to his affection for his small child, he named his child as small child as a Narayana, and due to his affection for the small child, he used to call him Narayana, come here, Narayana, always. So just like parents are very much affectionate to the youngest child, Jamila was very much affectionate to this child Narayana. So in this chapter, we have seen and he comes to the death where he is almost 80 years old and he reaches his end of the life where he is about to die. And as we all know, whenever a person dies, Yamadutas is the first person who comes to take away the soul back to Yamaraj. But this is a typical case in Ajamila where Yamadutas get interaction with the Vishnudutas. Why the Vishnudutas come? Because Ajamila has chanted the holy name of Narayana at the last moment. So in the first 15 verses, we have seen that Vishnudutas argue and convince and conclude that this Ajamila, because he chanted the holy name of Narayana throughout his life without any offense. So he did not commit any offense on the strength of the holy name. though he was sinful, he did not know that, the potency of the Narayana. He forgot the potency of the Narayana. But he did not commit any sinful activities on the strength of the Lord Narayana. And at the end of the movement, he chanted the Narayana. This is one of the very much important thing. When we chant the holy names in during our during the time which we live, without any offenses, we can chant the holy names at the end of the life. Without practice of one's own at the end of one's life. And not only that, Krishna helps us to remember his names at the end. And Vishnu Dutas and devotees like you come to the person. So they come to the deathbed of a devotee. We have seen so many devotees who have left this planet. So this clearly indicates that the death of a devotee and death of a non-devotee are not same. They are two different things. So whenever a non-devotee dies, he gets afraid seeing the Yamadutas. But when a devotee dies, he is going to the last moment. He is very much happy that the next step is going to be in the lap of Krishna. So that is the difference between a normal devotee and a non-devotee. So the requirement is you have to chant the holy names without any offense and don't commit any offenses on the strength of the holy name. So we have seen the glories of the holy name in the first 15 verses. And in the next few verses, we are continuing the same, the glorification of the holy name. And after that, today we are going to see the text number 16 till 32. Few slokas describe the continuation of the glories of the holy name, and few describes how a devotee regrets his past. So we all know we have see we have taken to this devotional service maybe few years, 4 years or 5 years or maybe 6 years. So prior to our devotional service, prior to our devotional life, what was our life? We used to go to movies. We used to eat here in each and every possible restaurants. We used to have non-veges, onion, garlic, whatnot. We have broken all the possible regulative principles. So in the next few slokas, we can understand we understand that the qualification, one of the duty of a devotee is to regret his past life. Why he has committed so much sin, why he has wasted so much time. So Bhaunanam Janmananta Jnanavan Mahaprabhadite Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudulva. After so many lifetimes, we have got this human birth and we have got a chance to speak about the holy names. We see so many other people who have no tongue, who have no limbs, who have no memory. People lose memory. We are so much in a good position where we can chant the holy names. We have a nice mouth, nice conditions, nice home. Everything is going very nice, but we are not considering the glories of the holy name. Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. So we are not understanding how much the holy names are giving benefit. We should be regretful for all those things. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has, in Sister he has explained how a devotee should regret not chanting the holy names. So with this introduction, we'll start our session from the 16th chapter, 16th sloka onwards. So text number 16. Gurunam cha lagunam cha guruni cha laguni cha prayaschitani papanam gnatoktani maharshibihi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhakti Vedanta the Prabhupada ki jai. Authorities who are learned scholars and sages have carefully ascertained that one should atone for the heaviest sins by undergoing a heavy process of atonement, and one should atone for the lighter sins by undergoing lighter atonement. Chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, however, vanquishes all the effects of the sinful activities, regardless of whether heavy or light. So here Srila Prabhupada in his commentary explains that whenever we commit sin, we are supposed to be punished. That is, there is no exception for that. Everyone has to be punished. Atonement is a requirement. So punishment is one form of atonement. So for heaviest sin committed, you have to undergo heaviest punishment, and for the lighter sins, you have to undergo the lighter punishment. According to the sins we committed, accordingly, the atonement has to be performed. Is what Srila Prabhupada is explaining. So in the purport, Prabhupada quotes the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, where Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura was describing about an incident of Samba, who fell in love with the daughter of Duryodhana. So Samba falls in love with the daughter of Duryodhana and wanted to marry her, but Duryodhana was not going to accept that. So Duryodhana was not going to accept that. So as a rule of Kshatriya, Samba has to uh, gain her, win her in the test which Duryodhana has to keep. But Samba did not want to do that. So he kidnapped Duryodhana's daughter. So he goes to Hastinapur, to the palace, where he got captured by the Duryodhana's team. And Duryodhana was not going to leave him. He kept in the vision house. So whatever, and so many things happened to release Samba, but they could not do it. And ultimately, Balram comes to the Hastinapur to release the Samba. When at that time, even at that time, Duryodhana was not going to release him. But because of the anger of the Balaram, nobody could stand before him because of the anger. So from this, the Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura explains that. So, however, powerful reactions of one sins may be, they will be immediately be vanquished if one chants the holy name. So just like nobody could have saved Samba except for Balaram. Whenever one chants the holy name, whatever the sins he have committed, whether it is big, small, or whatever it is, those are immediately removed. What it is said that when you chant the holy names, the sins which are yet to be fructified and the sins which are also fructified gets destroyed. So that's what in the Rama Raksha Sutra we have discussed. Parjanam Pavabijana Arjanam Sukha Sampadam Tarjanam Yamadutana Rama Rameti Iti Garjanam. So Parjanam Pavabijana. Parjanam means pride. Pavabijam means the seed of material desire. So when you chant the holy names of Lord Ram and Lord Krishna, all our material desires, seeds of material desires are all burned. When the burnt desires are sold, no trees comes. So the chanting of the holy names is very much important. So it is also said the sinful activities must be punishable, which is actually the nature's law. But the first punishment which everyone has got in this material world is nothing but this material body. Because we have first crime which have committed is we have forgot our relationship with Krishna. That is also first crime which we have done. And the first punishment is we got this material body, whether it is in a form of human being, devatas, kinnaras, kunkuras, or a worm in the stool. This is the first punishment which we have got. So there is one song that says, Krishna Buliya Jiva Bhogavancha Kare Pashate Maya Tare Japadiya Dare. The first thing which we have done is Krishna Buliya Jiva. We have forgot that in Krishna, and because of that, what happened? Bhogavancha Kare. So we have material desires. We are seeking for after the material desires. Then Pashati Maya Tare Japati Dare. So Maya traps us in this way. The Maya very much traps us. How does she traps us in the Maya? So first thing what we in the fourth canto we have seen the embryo inside the mother's womb takes the center of the Vishnu. It says, "Oh, I have committed so many sins, yet I have got another body in this world, in this human life. I want to perfect this in this human life and go back to Godhead." That was the prayer which Kapila Muni has explained to Devahuti of the soul. And what happened? then the life air inside the mother pushes the embryo out, the soul out. It falls into the clutches of the Devi Maya. And what happens? It is under the three modes of the material nature. And after that few years, what happens? The child gets a nice playthings to get. So Maya says, "Oh, you play this nice toys. So forget about the prayer which you have done in the womb. Take these toys and play nicely." And the child will play happily. Then what happens? This doesn't give us happy. And we think, "Oh, this is not giving happy. Let me take the shelter of the holy name again." And after that, again the Maya comes and tracks. "Oh, you think holy name is going to give you happiness? No, I think you have grown old, little bit old, and these are playthings which will not give you happiness. Now I will give you school. You can go to the school and play with your other friends." And a boy goes to the school and plays happily in the play school. But this also doesn't give happiness for a longer time. And he thinks, why this is not giving me happiness? And he thinks about the holy name again. And Maya trap says again, "Oh, again you are coming back to the holy name. So don't commit the same problem, the same thing again. Now I give you a good opportunity. If you do this one small thing, your life will be happy. Just you pass this 10th class examination, which is going to be your career deciding. Just you do this for me, and your life is going to be happy." And we struggle so much hard in so many like what is called you are rotting in the schools, and you pass the 10th examination with distinction, and you are happy. You celebrate with your all your friends, family, etc. All the things. Very nice thing happens. Then comes 12th class, 11th class. Oh, I have to go to the 12th class. I have to prepare for NEET. I have to go for IIT. Oh, again the problem has started. Oh Krishna, what I has to do? And at the same time, Maya comes again. It says, okay, just 2 more years. If your 12th class is you have passed in BTech or bachelor's degree, you are going to have nice enjoyment. Nobody is going to ask you anything. Your freedom is going to come. Just you clear these 2 more years, and the happiness is all yours. And we struggle for the next 2 years at IIT seat, NEET or MBBS, whatever you call it. And what comes? Ah, yes, I have passed with distinction again. I'm going to be happy. I joined in the bachelor's degree, and now I can enjoy the 4 years of my life with peace again. But what happens? Fourth year comes. Fourth year of the bachelor's comes, where you have to struggle for job. You have to settle in the life. And my comes. Just this one job, if you get, you'll get so much money. Why unnecessarily depend upon your parents for money? Now, for your enjoyment, you have to go to your father, and father always scolds you. Just you get your job, get 1 lakh rupees per annum package, and all money is yours. Nobody is going. You are becoming an adult. You are grown up. No, nobody questions you. Your enjoyment is all yours, and we struggle for that job, and we get it. And in the job, we in the first few years of internship or all those things, it is very blissful. So everyone treats you very nicely. Oh, it is coming very much happy. But one thing, and the stage of settlement starts, where we go for purchase of home. We take home loan, all those things. When the first EMI starts, your pain starts. So you get salary, and most of your salary goes in EMI. And after a few days of your salary credit, there is nothing left in your bank account. There is nothing left in your to enjoy. You struggle. So you go back to your office, struggle with your boss, and do all those things. In the meanwhile, elder parents say, get married. So because of you are not married, there is no emotional support for you. If you have emotional support, you will understand you can pass away this. So you get married. And a first year of marriage is nice honeymoon life comes. Oh, it was very blissful. Nothing happens. The second year starts, and the two false egos clashes. And there's so many almost every day or so you start quarreling with each other. So all the distress will start. So you will say, oh Krishna, what happened? And parent Maya in the form of parents will come and say, have children. With the children will listen to your words. Have children. That is going to give you happiness. When you get children, and the first a few years of the children is very much happy. So all the things we do, but what happens? You have to join them in the school. Again, the problem starts of school fees, all those things. And Maya comes and attacks you and says, "Oh, get them after they grow up, get them married." And and the children gets married and leaves away from you, and your pain starts again because of the separation from your child. In the meanwhile, you get old. So till the time of death, by the time you feel that our responsibilities are over, our hair becomes white and we become old and we are on the deathbed like Ajamil. At that moment, we think, what nonsense I have done. Yes, we have to do all these family responsibilities. As a Grihastha, we are supposed to do all these things. But more important than these things is the chanting of the holy names. If in this entire life, by maintaining all this swadharma, all these responsibilities, you are chanting the holy name, attending Bhagavatam classes, and the last moment when like Ajamil, you can chant Hare Krishna. At the time when Yamadutas are staying are nearby, Vishnu Dutas, devotees surround us, and they chant the holy names, and they send the soul to the supreme personality of Godhead. But when it is a non-devotee, it is always in Maya, trapped in Maya. Maya always says, "Hum honge khaan." One day or the other, you are going to get successful. Whether you are successful in this body or not, in the next body, you are going to get successful. This is all the false hope which Maya is going to give. Maya in the form of mind. Don't listen to other mind. Engage the mind in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, starting from the chanting of the holy names. That's what Srila Prabhupada in various lectures he mentions. Whatever plan you make it will always be frustrated in this material world. It will never be successful. No material plans in this world are going to be successful, except for the spiritual plans. The conclusion, and so to conclude this sloka, anyone in this material world is a sinful person. The reason we are in this material world means we are all sinful, and the devotees and and Durga are nothing but the jailers. So Durga is not a sinful person. She is a jailer. So she is identifying who is the right person to be sent to the service of the Krishna. That is her duty. Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyata Satsarachanam. It is the service given by Krishna to the Maya Devi. So everyone has to chant the holy names along with our own responsibilities. So it is not we have to do our responsibilities and do bhakti at this moment. So in essence, the Krishna consciousness means saying two things. Krishna consciousness means two things. First thing is this is not your permanent home. This material world is not your home, our home to stay. Second, don't try to be happy in this world. Try to escape in this from this material world and go back to Krishna. Text number 17. Although one may utilize the reactions of the sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one's heart. However, if one serves the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from all the contaminations. The root cause of our sinful tendency is our own sense enjoyment. The root cause of sinful activities is our tendency to enjoy in separation from Krishna. And that's why we are in this material world. So when we are in this material world, we have so many material desires. So for the material desires, we are supposed to be in the material world. So whenever you want to have separate enjoyment from Krishna, you are sent to into this material world for your enjoyment. But ultimately, there is no enjoyment in this world. In Bhagavad Gita, he says, "Is alayam and ashashvatam." The only thing which which gains, which frees us from this material world is nothing but the devotional service or bhakti. Anyavilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavrutam anukulena krishnanu bhakti ruchyate. So the Anya Vilashita Sunyam. Anya Vilashita means anything desires which are separate from the Krishna consciousness. If it is there, you are going to suffer in this material world. If the material desires are zero, then you are going to get, so this is the highest form of bhakti. This is devotional service. So at the when you are doing bhakti only, our material desires comes to zero, and our spiritual desires goes up. So what makes us want to make the mistakes on the scenes, as we have shown, right? In the Bhagavad Gita 3.37, it said, Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajo Guna Samudbhava. So Kama, desire. So desire, Kama means desire in it is different from the Krishna. That desire is the root cause of the sinful activities, which in the mode of the passion, it increases. The passion when combined with lust, it increases. So when the lust is fulfilled, it transforms into greed. When it is not fulfilled, it becomes wrath. That's what he says in the 33 or 37. Then how karma generates? It is born out of the contact with the mode of passion. Because we are in this material world, which is in the predominantly in the mode of passion, our material desires increases, or lust increases. Because of the lust, our contemplation of the object. Yada Vishayam Pumsa Angas Sajedopajayate. Sanjayate Kama Kamas Tejupajayate. Because of the contemplation of the material objects, our attachment to those material objects has increased. This is the result of karma, and ultimately it results in anger. And from the anger gives you three gates of lust, anger, and greed is the three hell. So this is how our downfall starts because of the material desires. So, so how do you purify these material desires? In this, all the Vedas gives that dharma, artha, kama, moksha. All the Vedas claim that one has to do dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. But when the mode of passion comes, we forget about the moksha and see dharma, artha, and kama. We use dharma, artha, kama, and kama, artha and kama, gaining money and gaining sense enjoyment. So Krishna says, Traigunya, Vishya, Veda, Nistraigunya, Bhavarjuna. You have to go beyond these three modes of the material nature. So you have to go beyond this Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, which is nothing but Chaitanya Prabhu giving a simple program for to escape this material world. Is nothing but the chanting of the whole Hare Krishna mantra and eating prasadam. If you do these two simple activities, we are for sure going to go back to God. 18 and 19. As a fire burns dry gas to ashes, so the holy name of the Lord, whether chanted knowingly or unknowingly, burns to the ashes without fail all the reactions of the sinful activities. If a person unaware of the efficiency or the potency of the certain medicine takes that the medicine or is forced to take it, it will act even without his knowledge, because its potency does not depend on the patient's understanding. Similarly, even though one does not know the value of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, if one chants knowingly or unknowingly, the chanting will be very effective. Here, the example of the potency of holy name, when chanted in without knowingly, also is given. Just like the fire burns, when a child keeps his finger in the fire, or when an adult person keeps the hand in the fire doesn't change. It burns the hands. Whether knowingly or unknowingly you put your hand in the fire, your hand is going to burn. Similarly, we take so many medicines. Do you know how the medicine, what is the composition of the medicine? How does it act inside our body? How does it go into the bloodstream? Did doctor educate us in how this medicine works? No. Whenever we have fever, we take Dolo, and after a few days, the fever subsides. Whether you take it knowingly or unknowingly, the medicine is going to work. So presently we have our roga. Our disease is material contamination, material desires. The tablet or the solution for this power roga is the chanting of the holy names. The prescription given by our acharyas is this chanting of the holy names. Whether we chant holy with faith or not, this chanting works. So in the past, in the text 14, we have seen how in the what ways we are going to chant. Sanketam, whether we call our children, our spouse, or whatever, whatever way, the name of the holy name, it's going to work. Parihasyam, by jokingly, Stobium, or by making fun with the musical instruments, we do so many kirtans. Helanam, by neglectfully, whatever may be, Kena Kena Prakarena, Manaka Krishna Nivasate. So whatever methodology you take it, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. That is the only thing prescribed by the Acharyas. One may or may not know the power of the holy name, but if one chance he will become free from the holy name. So example, here Prabhupada also gives an example of the Westerners. So how the Westerners people have converted into first class devout Vaishnavas. So some of our acharyas are our Western body. So they speak about Gaurakada, they speak about Krishna Kada. How did they get all this knowledge? Could they chant the holy names? They have no previous knowledge about Krishna. So that Harinam work, and we can see in so many Western devotees. So even though we don't know, we can happily chant the holy names. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued, "My dear king, having thus perfectly judged the principles of devotional service with reasoning and arguments, the order carriers of Lord Vishnu released the Brahmana Ajamila from the bondage of Yamadutas and saved him from imminent death." So just like when a devotee dies, is leaving this body, other Vaishnavas come around and they chant the holy names. Immediately, the soul's clutches are gone from Yamadutas and into Vishnudutas and they go back to Godhead. My dear Maharaj Parikshit, O subduer of all enemies, after the servants of the Yamaraj had been answered by the order carriers of Lord Vishnu, they went to Yamaraj and explained to him everything that had happened. So Yamadutas are supposed to take back the soul. They have come on the order of Yamaraj, and this is a classic case where they fail to take the soul back even after they coming to the deathbed. So to report this incident, they went back to Yamaraj, where in the third chapter, I think we here Yamaraj explaining who should be brought to Yamaloka and who should not be brought. So in one essence, Yamaraj says that whoever has surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or whoever has chanted the holy names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are exempted from the jurisdiction of the Yamaraj. Those whose body doesn't do Dandavat Pranam for the lotus feet of the Krishna, those who are not using their mouth for the chanting of the holy names or eating prasada, those whose eyes are not for used for seeing the beauty of the Krishna, they are the fit candidates to be brought to Yamaloka. This is what Yamaraja in essence was going to say in the third chapter. So they Yamadutas have gone back to report this to Yamaraj. Text number 22. Having been released from the nooses of Yamaraj's servant, the Brahmana Arjamila, now free from fear, came to his senses and immediately offered obeisances to the Vishnudutas by bowing his head at their lotus feet. He was extremely pleased by their presence, for he had seen them save his life from the hands of the servants of Yamaraj. Similarly, you can see how he could understand. He was hearing, Ajamila was hearing the discussion between Yamadutas and Yamaraj. This is from the Shastric point of view. This is what is Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Yeah, and Ajamila had heard the Bhagavatam from the mouth of the Vishnudutas. And he was, because of hearing from the pure devotees, his fear has been lost. So Bhagavad Gita 2.40 says, Salpam asya trayato mahata vaya. If you do small activity in this Krishna consciousness, the greatest danger of fear of death is lost. This is what we can learn from the Ajamila story. Here, Bhagavatam, in the association of the devotees, makes us fearless of the death. Giras tatra namuhyati. Ehino asminitadehe kaumare giras tatra namuhyati. So you will become a Tira, and this change of body doesn't affect all us. So because of that, he was grateful. You can see that Ajamila's attitude over here. He was grateful for whatever he has obtained from the Vishnudutas. Similarly, we have obtained this Bhagavad Gita, the process of chanting of the holy name, the Krishna consciousness from our spiritual master, from Parampara, from our Shiksha Gurus, and His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila. We all have to be similarly grateful to each and every devotee of who has come into our life, each and every situation of our life to make us bring to this situation. This is what is preaching. Preaching means identifies one such Ajamila and perfect his life at the last moment. Preaching is to find Ajamila. Text number 23. O sinless Maharaj Parikshit, the order carriers of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Vishnu Duta saw that Ajamila was attempting to say something. He was trying to say something to Vishnu Dutas, and thus they suddenly disappeared from his presence. So when Ajamila was going to speak something to Yamadutas, they had disappeared from that point. So we made it a thought. At the last moment, when we one chants the holy names, he's going back to Godhead. But what did the Vishnudutas have done here? They did not take back the Ajamil. So simply by remembering Narayana doesn't make us go back to Godhead. So I say Narayana, I'm going back to Godhead. That is not going to happen. So this is a classic case of second chance. So Ajamila story is a case of second chance. So what is the second chance? Yesterday we have discussed. So Krishna has given us so many chances, infinite number of chances in the form of human body. This is not the only body which we have got. So in crores and crores and crores of lives, we have got human body, and He has given chances. So then, what is the second chance in this case? So second chance is free from the sinful activities. Earlier, Ajamila was full of sinful activities, and Vishnu Dutas, by the chanting of the holy names of Narayana and the presence of Vishnu Dutas and hearing of the Bhagavatam from Vishnu Dutas, cleared all the sinful activities. So now Ajamila is free from all the sinful activities. This is the second chance. So by the when we are chanting of the holy names, all our sins are going to nullify, and that point of time, our capability to glorify Krishna increases. So Sudutas has disappeared from the scene because they are giving a chance to glorify Krishna from Ajamil. They wanted Ajamil to glorify whatever he received from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhagavad Gita 7.28 says, one cannot glorify the activities and actions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead unless he is free from all the sins. If you are not free from the sins, you cannot glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because of the chanting of the holy name, they got Ajamil got free from sins, and he got a chance to glorify and rectify whatever things he had done and perfect his life and go back to Godhead, which we see in the future sections where Ajamil goes to Kasi and performs his devotional activities sincerely, and then the Vishnu Dutas again comes to Pushpaka Vimana and takes back the Ajamil back to Godhead. So chanting gives us the capability to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the reason in our ISKCON movement, to preach the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is required to chant minimum of 16 sincere rounds. That gives you as a capability to chant the holy names. It is not our own material skills. It is because of the Krishna's mercy. Text number 24 and 25. After hearing the discourses between the Yamadutas and Vishnudutas, Ajamil could understand the religious principles that act under the three modes of the material nature. These principles are mentioned in the three Vedas. He could also understand the transcendental religious principles which are above the modes of the material nature, which concern the relationship between the living being and the supreme personality of God. Furthermore, Arjamila had purification of the name, fame, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He thus became a perfectly pure devotee. He could then remember his past sinful activities, which he greatly regretted giving on. So this you can see how Ajamila was being transformed. He was regretting the past life. So the religion, people generally use religion, and for general people, the religion is Dharam, Artha, Kama, not even moksha. So for the material profits, you do dharma. For material profits, we require money. So for material desires, you require money, and for that, in a qualified way, it is following the dharma. So this is what the general people think about the religion. Go to any temple, ask for the material favor. But for a devotee, it is parodharma. Savai pucham parodharmo yahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidhati. So, and the parodharma, the highest of dharma is to render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead without any motivation, without any selfish interest, without any interruption. This is what the religion of a pure devotee is. The Srimad Bhagavatam establishes this second form of religion, dharma pojita kaitava artha dharma. So it removes the material religion and gives us the spiritual, actual religion into our life, which is nothing but establishing our relationship with Krishna. Divya Swarupohai, Krishnera Nityadas. Achamila was elevated to this platform of devotee. Earlier, he was in the platform of a general people he was singing Dharma, Artha, and only Kama. But now he was elevated to the form of to the position of a pure devotee. And because of that, he regrets for his past materialist activity. Oh, why have I committed so many sinful activities? Then he started glorifying the name, fame, etc. of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is how the chanting and association transforms one person into a pure devotee. Ajamila said, Alas, being a servant of my senses, how degraded I became. I fell down from my position as a duly qualified Brahmana and begot children in the womb of a prostitute. Alas, all condemnation upon me. I acted so sinfully that I degraded my family tradition. Indeed, I gave up my chaste and beautiful young wife to have sexual intercourse with a fallen prostitute, accustomed to drinking wine. All condemnation upon me. My father and mother were old and no other son or friend to look after them because I did not take care of them. I lived with great difficulty. Alas, like an abominable low-class man, I ungratefully left them in that condition. So here, the low-class people means one who doesn't become a devotee, one who is not a devotee, they are called Naradama. And especially who has a sexual desire, intense sexual desire, they are called the lowest of the humankind. So you see in this material world also, so whenever because of the attraction to the opposite gender, they commit so many crimes. They neglect their family. They abandon their wife or their spouse. So when a wife and the unchaste wife is attracted to the paramour and the unchaste wife tries to kill the husband, or if the husband is attracted illegally towards another woman, he starts neglecting the wife who is so chaste and who is so helpful. So you see so many people, especially if you see have go back and see the COVID times, where people have abandoned their elderly parents in the old age homes. So nowadays it is not new. So it is coming in a old earlier it was called old age homes, but now it is partially it is termed as retirement homes. Retirement homes are not different from old age homes. So recently, I was given a class on the investment. So there are mutual funds. You invest in plots. You invest on gold. So one of the investment they suggested is to invest in a retirement home. So no, when you become old and you and your spouse are left alone, you have to go back to the retirement home and you can have a peaceful life. That is the current situation today. So we are supposed to take care of our parents. A boy has to take care of his parents. So, but here Ajamil has neglected his duty to take care of his wife, his children, and mother and father. So this is what is the mentality of a devotee. Now you can see how Ajamila is regretting what mistake he has done. This is the mentality of a pure devotee. This is the when you think like this, you are progressing in this spirituality. Mentality of one who is becoming a pure devotee. One regrets his past sinful activities, helps one advance in the spiritual life. This regret should help us in progress in our spiritual life. So if you don't progress in our spiritual life, we are going back to this old sinful tendencies. So Maya attracts. So, you know the law of gravity. So whenever an object is put in the height and you leave that object there, it falls down. You see an aeroplane flying. What happens if the engine fails? What happens if the fuel exhausts? Will the aeroplane stay in the sky? No, it starts falling down. This is the law of gravity. Even Maya, even in the spiritual life, also law of gravity works out. If you think that, oh, I'm chanting the whole chanting 16 rounds, I'm following four regulative principles, I'm attending satsang, okay, so piece of, if you are not serious about elevating your Krishna consciousness, if you are not serious about maintaining your Krishna consciousness, if you think that I am stable in Krishna consciousness, we are coming back to ground level. We are going back to the sinful activities. If you understand what sinful, if you are thinking about the sinful activities, what we have done, we never go back to that. That's why it is said when you so progress in a spirituality, do your Krishna consciousness at the same time, understand what has transformed you from the past thing. So earlier we are not used to get up early in the morning. We used to sleep at 3 o'clock. Now we are getting at 3 o'clock and chanting. So what made us to do these things? It is only the Krishna conscious philosophy, Krishna conscious activities. If you are not careful in this, we are going back to we are going back again to the same old habits. So this is the duty of a pure devotee. So text number 29. It is now clear that as a consequence of such activities, a sinful person like me must be thrown into hellish conditions meant for those who have broken religious principles and must there suffer extreme miseries. So earlier, before Vishnudutas approached, when Ajamil saw Yamadutas, then he was very much afraid that he might be dragged to hellish conditions of life. Who are these gory looking fellows who are going to take me? They are very much afraid of that. And what is his situation right now? He's saying, because of my sinful activities, I am supposed to be taken to the whole hellish planets. See what a transformation. Palpam api asya tato mahato bhaya. Earlier he was afraid of this hellish planets. Now he's not. He's he's atoning for that. That is the nature of a pure devotee. Whenever a reversal happens in the life of pure devotee, whenever a problem comes in the life of a devotee, he doesn't blame the situation. He doesn't blame the person who is causing that problem. He doesn't blame the devatas. He doesn't blame the supreme personality of Godhead. He blames his own karma because he has committed a past sinful activity and suffering, and Krishna is so merciful to me that he has given me small problem and he is burning my all the problems. He is grateful even in the worst situation, worst problems. That is the position of a pure devotee. Text number 30. Was this a dream I saw, or was it a reality? I saw fearsome men with ropes in their hands coming to arrest me and drag me away. Where have they gone? Where are these people? Where are the Yamadutas? Where are these Vishnudutas? Am I seeing a dream or is it real? He was thinking in astonishment. And where have these four liberated and very beautiful persons gone who released me from arrest and saved me from being dragged down to this hellish condition? Where are these people? Text number 32. अथापि मे दुर्भागस्य विबुधोत्मा दर्शने भवि भविताव्यं मङ्गलेन येनात्मा मे प्रसीदति. Translation and purport by Divine Grace is the Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. Yeah. I am certainly most abominable and unfortunate to have merged in the ocean of sinful activities. But nevertheless, because of my spiritual activities, I could see those four exalted personalities who come to the rescue. Now I feel exceeding happy because of their visit. So he was very much happy for the association which he had got from the pure devotees. Even Yamadutas and Vishnudutas are both the pure devotees. The Yamadutas are following the great Mahajan Yamadan Maharaj. So they are also devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Vishnudutas, naturally, they are servants of Krishna and they are pure devotees. He was very much fortunate to get the association of the Supreme, the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. because of our own, because of our pious activities which we have done in this life or the previous life, we are fortunate to get the association of our. We are fortunate to get associated with His Grace Lilananda Prabhu. We are fortunate to get association of His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu and so many Maharajas coming into our satsang. This is not an ordinary thing. They are all Vishnu Dutas. They came into our life to save us from the last, from the mouth of death, take us back to Godhead. So sadhu sanga, lava mat, sarva sastra hoy, lava matra sadhu sanga, sarva siddhi hoy. By a movement of association of his pure devotee, how much? Lava matra sadhu sanga. Lava means 1/12 of a second. If you are associating properly with a sadhu, even for 1/12 of a second, our spiritual life kicks in so much. Association of devotees is recommended by all the Shastras. Even Sripad Sankaracharya says, Satsangatve, Nisangatve, Nirmohatve, all those things. By the association of Sangha, Satsanga, we are all the Nirmoha, means material desires are lost. When our material desires are lost, we have a chance to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the chanting of the holy names and go back to Godhead. Such is the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he invested all his energies in the chanting of the holy names. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. This Chaitanya, by the mercy of the Guru, we get Krishna Prasada, the beach, the seed we get. We have to plant in our soil of heart. You have to nourish the soil of the heart with nice water and nutrients in the form of association and the chanting of the holy name. Then the seeds get fructified into the tree, bhakti seed fructifies, and the flower of the seed, bhakti seed, goes to the and elevates higher and higher and higher and higher till it reaches to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why he said at the initiation ceremony, when we are all one day or the other are going to get initiated. If you are not planning to so, please consider taking initiation from a guru. Without the initiation, we are not going back to Godhead. That is not going to happen. So at the time of initiation, we get a new name. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami or any other. You can see there are so many devotees who got that new name. It is not that you are getting a new fresh name. So anything new is very much happy, right? If you get a new dress, new things, everything, we are happy. So new name doesn't mean you have to take happiness in that. So name gave the Guru gives us a name which represents the name of the Vishnu, Govinda Dasa, Krishna Dasa, Gaura Gopal. So all these names reminds us our reminds about our Vishnu. But chanting of your name after initiation also takes back you to Godhead. And not only that, you are added the word called Dasa. So you are being reminded that you are a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are not the master. Jivera Saruphoy Krishnera Nityadas. Yeah, I'm a servant of such and such Krishna. So I am the Das of Govinda. I am a Das of Krishna. That is what initiation is all about. So Guru is so merciful that he gives the name of the Krishna to remember, and that remembering your name leads you to go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. So this is what today's all about. In the next class, it will be the story about Ajamila is taken forward, and Yamadharmara's statements also we can see. Please attend this Bhagavatam classes regularly. I think tomorrow is an Ekadasi. In this place, Lilananda Prabhu will might be taking the class, continuing from here, and it would be more nectarian than what I have spoken today. Thank you, Shilpa Mataji, for giving me an opportunity to speak something about Bhagavatam. And thank you all the devotees who have assembled over here, who have given me and understand myself what is the glory of the Supreme Personality for holy names and all this. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Now the session is open for all of your questions, realization, chastisement. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam, Prabhu. Prabhuji, thank you very much for the nice session, Prabhu. And the takeaway from this session, Prabhuji, I mean, you know, impressing or stressing on the point about association of devotees. And I mean, being in the platform or this kind of satsang for almost half a decade or more than half a decade now, we know for sure association of devotees is something always it is being stressed upon. But when this much stress is given, Prabhuji, there is always a tendency of taking it for granted,
Yes.
taking it for granted. And I mean, how to safeguard that feeling of importance of the association of devotees and not getting a feeling that we are taking it for granted.
So what's a wonderful question?
Devotees are more merciful, Prabhu. Whatever the
Yes.
things we do, always they are merciful to forgive us. But
Yes.
it should not be some tendency in us to always take it for granted. At some point, I think I hope you're getting my point, Prabhu.
Yes, yes, I understood your point. So you have touched upon a very beautiful point where association is the most important thing. It's the only thing. There is no option. When association is like a thumb, so without this thumb, all the four fingers cannot work function. The chanting, the namavasa, all those things which you have panchanga, the thumb is the association of devotees. If this thumb is not there, all the four things will fall down apart. And we are so fortunate that we have got a vibrant satsang over here. So we are growing day by day. But what happens, as you said, because of this familiarity, we are taking it for granted. Familiarity breeds contempt, he said. Okay, anyway, I'm going. So initial days, we are so much excited. But the same excitement is not in the as coming days. So that's what he said in the Rupa Goswami mentions Utsaha Nischaya Dhairya. So Utsaha, enthusiasm. One should be enthusiasm like you, Prabhuji. You are so enthusiastic, and like that, everyone has to become enthusiastic. Nischayat, determined. Dhairya, one should be very much sure that convinced that this satsang will take us back to Godhead. Until unless we are not understanding this, we are not convinced upon this point that this is the only pathway. Then why are we not convinced? Because of our ignorance. Why? What is the ignorance? My my own sense enjoyment. So sense enjoyment breeds ignorance, and because of ignorance, we are taking the association as granted. So many Maharajas says, even I think in one of the lectures, His Holiness Radhanath Swami says, we should behave like the day one we are in Krishna consciousness. So just like we are in day one, we are so enthusiastic for serving all those things. We should be in that mode. This is only possible when we are convinced of the philosophy. Without philosophical conviction, this is not going to happen. So that's why hearing and reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, thoroughly Srila Prabhupada's books is very much important. Srila Prabhupada says, if you don't read my books, one day you are going away from this satsang. So we lack the reading habit of reading Srila Prabhupada's books. That is the only solution. Read Prabhupada's books, maintain enthusiasm, determination, and all these things will automatically increase.
Got it.
Did I answer your point, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Any other questions, reflections?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Okay. So if there are no questions, shall we wrap up this session from here?
Sure, Prabhu.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much all for giving me this opportunity to speak something about Bhagavatam. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya cha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda ki jai, Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Transcendental Book Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai Krishna, thank you for joining.
Thank you all for joining.
I'm ending the session here, Prabhuji. Thank
Okay.
you.